This is David Wheaton. The following is a TCW short take, a bite-sized highlight from the Christian Worldview radio program. You can hear the full program at thechristianworldview.org. How do we draw near to God? How does that practically take place when we're sinners and the God we are worshiping and approaching is perfectly holy?
This is the core of the gospel, which is the core of worship. And it's a message we can find throughout Scripture. And I just love the book of Hebrews. In our church, we as elders just finished preaching through this book. And this is one of the central messages of that book. In chapter 10, in verse 22, the author says, "Let us draw near." So there's that concept. If you find that phrase in either the Old or New Testament, it's referring to drawing near to the presence of God for communion and worship. As you mentioned, sin prevents that. So how do we draw near? Let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith, with our hearts sprinkled clean from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. So worship is essentially drawing near to communion with God through the sacrificial atonement of Jesus Christ by faith. So you can see there the essence of what it means for God's people to worship Him really is the same as the gospel itself. And this goes back to the very first discussion we had and Calvin's comment that salvation is toward the end of creating worshipers. The purpose of the gospel is to provide a means by which people can draw near to God in worship by faith. So that's the only way. We can't come in our own merits because we're sinners. We have to come through Christ. We do so by faith with confident expectation of the promises of God. And when we do that, when we draw near by faith, we can be confident that we are in God's presence. That's what Hebrews chapter 12 tells us. We have come to Mount Zion, the city of the living God, to the heavenly Jerusalem. We don't see or feel that. We shouldn't expect the presence of God to be somehow tangibly experienced. No, we accept it by faith, which is the conviction of things hoped for, the assurance of things not seen. And so we draw near by faith, and we are confident that if we do so, drawing near by faith, according to the means that God has prescribed in His Word, then we can know that we are in the presence of God, that we are fellowshipping with Him, and we are bringing Him the glory that He deserves.
This has been a short take from the Christian Worldview radio program. To hear the full program and connect with this nonprofit radio ministry, go to thechristianworldview.org. I'm David Wheaton.